G'day guys, Rick from Tips and Ratings, just with our ratings wrap for today, the 20th of February. Bit of a tough day today, we got beaten up a little bit. We bet 33 units and got back 22, dropped around 11. So not a great day, and a bit of a grind and a few that were just sort of wrong, and a couple of close ones we didn't sort of get. So I'll just start off. The day started at Sale. Race 2, we backed Allergic, marked $1.70, $1.80 early, and it won by a mile. And a little bit of a bet also on Slinky Malinky, and that did absolutely nothing. So we made a little bit of money there, picked up 1.44 on the race 3 at Sale, and we backed Bailey Louise. She was around 4.40 early, and was heavily backed into, I think, under $3 at some stage, and got back out again late. And look, it had every chance and was really just unable to finish off. It sort of box seated and did nothing. So it was pretty disappointing, that effort. And All She Wrote's the other one we backed, and it did nothing either. So good run from one, or a fair run from one, and nothing on the other. Then we went to Moonee Valley and we bet into race 1, and look, they just went very slow here. We were on 2, 3 and 9, and look, Spanish Love just looked over the top. It really didn't produce anything. It had every chance and was well backed. Our top rater was Sure You Can, just ended up too far back on the fence and came really wide at the turn and lost significant ground. Look, had it sort of not had to go around the horse, it probably would have finished pretty close to the winner, but in saying that, it's sort of pretty hard to fault how the winner went itself. So we dropped about 3.5 there. Onto race 3, and more on Pittsburgh Flyer and a couple of roughies here, Balmain Lass and Topside. Thought Pittsburgh Flyer ran really well. He just rounded them, and it looked like it was going to go straight past Zoletto, but it just looked to sort of peak on its run a little bit. It's a pretty nice filly, and I think that going forward, it's probably going to be the best horse in the race. But unfortunately, we didn't get the result with that one tonight, down 2.67, and that was 2 losses in a row. On to the next race, and Barisha came out very short, and he was just ended up near the end and 3 wide, and really was never going to win the race. Bellfly was the same, and Pinata was one at odds that we were on, and it crossed and was up the front and sort of gave a little bit at the turn, but just sort of faded. And Duracell, the Hayes horse, got the job done. So it was 3 in a row, which is a bit unusual because we have a high volume of horses we back. We don't normally have 3 losing races in a row. Then we went on to race 5, and we backed Gallen Harmony, Big Buddy, and Pravinda, and Beckon, and Gallen Harmony was a bit too good. It basically just was too strong. So he's a nice sort of sprinter. Big Buddy was pretty good. He sort of did what he does, and Beckon did well. So we hit back there with a win. Then I marked Nordic Empire in the next $1.55, and just was unable to get the price. It was at a couple of agencies, but not enough to get on really. He was obviously quite an impressive win, wide all the way, rounding that turn, and just got there. Pretty good effort, and for a horse that can run out over further also. We played wide here on Canali, who box seated and was pretty ordinary, and She's Ali gave a little bit of a sight for a while, but she sort of faded off also. So it was another loss. We then backed Taiyu and Avaro with Crime Fighter, and Avaro ended up heavily backed, and basically it ran about last, I think. Crime Fighter rounded them up really well, and Taiyu was just a bit too good. He's just racing really, really well. Tuscan Fire just sort of bailed up on the fence and couldn't quite get out, but we picked up a couple there, and that was a winning race. Managed to get on written earlier at the price before the plunge came. It was resuming off a long break. Historical speed figure was number one. I just sort of didn't really know what quite to do with the horse. It sort of was just bailed up, waiting for the run, and got there. We sort of opposed Scarlet Bellows, went up sharply in weight and was going to get back, and you sort of bet against it tonight, took a set against it, but it was a pretty big run. You sort of can't knock the horse. It sort of lost by a whisker and was definitely a winning run. So, you know, it's one that we really need to follow going forward. And Beachfront was pretty gallant. And then on to the last race, Resistant was around $11 into $5.50 or something like that. We marked at 4. Second up last campaign was very good behind Trust in August, and that's probably why the money came. He just needed a little bit of luck to get across and sort of didn't begin well and had to basically get hunted up. Post de France was another one that we fancied, and he didn't really do much. Excuse me, it's been a long day. And hitting a bit, he just sort of got nailed by the winner, Hinchley Wood, and Northern Lyric kicked ahead on the turn and just couldn't quite get there, and wore on Athenian Girl at big odds, and she ran third. So we're really all over that, but unfortunately Craig Williams, who we probably were on a few times through the night, and he didn't really help us much at all, was the bearer of bad news in the last. So yeah, that concludes our ratings wrap. We didn't really have the strongest of days, and obviously copped a bit of a loss, but it happens, and we'll bounce back tomorrow. So thanks for listening, and all the best, and good luck with your punting.